for every person that goes on any adventure, some of them will return with a life-changing experience. My adventure was like that, from worrying about everything, to finding a soothing sense of calm at the end of the day. This story of grace taught me much about the impact of living with contentment and a thankful heart. Nowadays, life feels more complicated than it should be, and most people think it's a piece of cake. There are new jobs and higher wages, that's true, but inflation, raised taxes, and heavy demand follow in its wake. As more opportunities knock, so too will worries pile up. We'd start to find that we'd have little time to enjoy the simple things. All work, no play. Though I have the Lord to thank for getting me where I am, it doesn't stop worries from finding their way to me, despite my best attempts to avoid them. When I went to the Smithsonian that day, I hoped I could distract myself from my worries of today and tomorrow by completing the assignment I was given. I was being overly critical over the artifacts at the Arts and Industry Museum, saying how the people who made them did it for the wrong reasons, or how dangerous they could be. Then I thought a little more about how these creators were brave enough to step up and make something real, that they would do something for the benefit of those around them. The group I was with got hungry, and we went to the Sweet Home Cafe at the National African American Museum of History and Culture. Though I didn't get any food there, I noticed someone was holding up the line because they couldn't pay. Without hesitation, I stepped up and paid for the slice of carrot cake for them, a simple act of kindness that many would think heroic. I didn't feel like a hero then, but it felt like I had done my duty. Even though they offered to pay me back or return the favor, I told them there was no need, because I already had everything I needed. My worries began to melt away from that good feeling, and it felt like the day was going to turn out well for me. I wasn't able to finish my trip because I got called into work. I made it on time, and my boss was grateful I could make it, despite the circumstances. The night ended well, and I somehow felt satisfied in a peculiar way. I realized that it was okay I couldn't plan for everything, and it was better to be content with who I am and be thankful for what I had. All I had to do was trust in the Lord to guide me through my troubles. I have learned how to be content with whatever I have, for when I am weak, then I am strong. These verses remind me that being content and thankful is both rewarding and healthy. How is contentment healthy for you? Well, let me put it like this. There are two workers in the same job who are both given an equal amount of work with the same amount of time to complete it. One of them was well dressed and held himself to an ambitiously high standard. The other didn't have any expensive clothing, but seemed to be a little more relaxed and humbler than his counterpart. A few days later, the poor worker completed all his tasks, while the well-dressed worker was still stressing over the difficult assignment. He sees the poor worker and wonders,
"We both have the same amount of work and start at the same time. How is it you could have gotten everything done sooner than I have?"
The poor worker returned with a smile and said,
I just didn't worry about finishing everything on time. I simply focused on what I knew I could finish. I completed what work I could and asked our boss to help me where I was stuck. Before I knew it, I was finished.
Then the poor worker returned home to enjoy the rest of the day. The well-dressed worker continued to stress himself so much he was stuck with his assignment, and he could never finish. The poor worker's contentment allowed him to have a clear, focused mindset to complete the work he was tasked with. Else, the rich worker's pride would get the better of him, and that stress would overwhelm him. Now that I look back on the trip that day, I can remember the lesson I learned about being content and thankful with what I have. The stress I'd feel may be overpowering at times, but I know I can just do my best and let God do the rest, and that weight is lifted off my shoulders. So don't be afraid of the work. Instead, take it step by step. Before you know it, you've finished the race, and you earned yourself a piece of cake.